Hello, hello. This is Lisa Ann McCall. I am a physical therapist, posture princess, lover of movement, and today we're going to look at yoga postures. Now, this is a big subject. It came up in the last live Facebook. I said, hey, why don't I just run through some yoga postures and let's talk about how structure and function plays into that. Okay, so here's the deal. This is not a yoga instruction class in any stretch. I do not practice yoga. I did at one time, little background. Late 80s, early 90s, got involved in yoga when it wasn't really popular. So I learned from what you would call senior students under Iyengar. There weren't many people. There was no certification. I feel like I got quite a bit of knowledge firsthand from what was existing at that time. It hasn't changed a lot. I know that's going to be controversial to people, but just the postures, okay? The postures, because remember, I'm the posture princess. I look at structure. I look at how the body moves. So, but yoga was a great experience for me because it was a bit of my evolution into finding out that the human body had a very specific, lovely design of how to move. And as you've heard me say, people in ethnic societies or agrarian societies move with grace and ease, move carrying large weight on their body, are very structurally sound in their movement, and so they can do a lot of things as they age that we can't do. They don't break down like we do in Western worlds. So my job as a physical therapist is to give you as much quality information I can about how to move better. Because if you move well, guess what? You're less likely to break down, more likely to heal, and enjoy, shocking, enjoy your movements. All right, so yoga. I'm going to pick out a few yoga postures that I have found people really enjoy, or they do a lot, they come to me with problems and they want to fix them because it hurts them when they do the yoga posture. So I am literally the person who has an interest in whatever you are doing to make it fit your human body and your life, your function, your life better. So I do not go to yoga or go to CrossFit or go to martial art. I don't go anywhere to find my answers. The answers are here in the way we are stacked. And then I adapt whatever someone brings to me, that movement, so that it fits their body. I mean, think about it. That's really kind of what we want, if we think about it. Now, if you're a passionate yoga person, do not look to me as somebody that's controversial or anything. This is just, I am designed to only help people who want to have help with certain movements. Hope I made that clear. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to, like I said, take some yoga postures that I have found, and I enjoy them myself, that fit, that I can have them fit in to the structure or the stacking, the way the body is designed to stack, and work really efficiently for you. So here we go. So there in yoga, there's these postures called, they're standing postures, first of all, except for downward dog. I guess that's sort of a standing posture. Anyway, this is Virabhadrasana 1, 2, and 3, which is warrior. Yeah, warrior 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'm going to come out here, and I'm going to have to work around my canine company I have. Oh, Pebbles, come on, let's get up there. So can you move it so that you can see my feet a little better? Okay. I have canine help here today. Now, let's do warrior 1. So let's take the philosophy of what I have seen today in Hatha Yoga over the past many years, and I'm going to break it down and change the way I do a yoga posture. So what I mean is, a lot of times in yoga, they want you to plant your feet in a line, okay? I'm going to move my pants up just for the sake of getting a little more involved with my legs. And they will plant and create length into the ground, or that's what they say. And then they move their pelvis, and then they stretch their arms, and maybe then they bend their leg. Now, it could be a different way, but what they're doing is they're going from the extremities into the torso. I don't do that. What I do is I always start from center, which is my body right here. Usually, I really focus on the pelvis. Then I put my extremities where I want them, and then I really benefit from this centering, and I get stronger and make you a little more mobile. Now, you know who does yoga really well? Hatha yoga, the movement stuff? Children. Children do, because children don't try to make the yoga posture perfect or look good. They just get in it. They get in it. They get in it. And they don't ever manipulate this part of their body. They're just kind of, they don't look real perfect, but they're always centering and then putting their limbs where they want them. And then adults try to fix it. Isn't that so typical? Kind of, that we're always trying to fix everything as an adult. Anyway, so put my hands on my hips, I turn my hips. My hip bones are going to go that way. Got my hands on my hips, relax my belly, relax my crotch. Then I move my feet where I want them. Okay, so I've got one foot straight ahead. Look at this. My back leg, my heel is up. Why is my heel up? Well, if I put my heel down, it's going to pull my hip back. Well, if I pull my hip forward, then I got this fight going on. And there's no need for fighting. So put my pelvis, because this is the center of my body. I always want to start from center. I bend my front knee. Okay, that's cool. I relax. I drop into my pelvis. Makes you work a little harder. I let this back knee bend because that keeps me centered. And then if I want to stretch my heel towards the floor, that's cool. It's cool, man. Just as long as I respect and honor the centering of my body, I relax my chest down. I don't pick up like they do. I don't do that old chest up thing because my spine wouldn't like that. So my chest stays down. Then my arms come up. Do I stretch them? No. I let my shoulders fall. And I work a whole lot in holding. The holding is coming from the dropping into my pelvis. So you can do this with me if you like. I'm dropping into my pelvis. Relaxing into my pelvis. That allows my pelvic floor to hold me. That allows my diaphragm to be free to go up and down. Look at a child. They can walk around, about that age, 4 or 5. Their body's holding only in the sense of it's balancing with gravity. The least amount of work done is in someone who's more balanced. So, the benefits of this are much more than you would know, meaning centering. So, I bring my hip back to center, relax, 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 muscles relax. I take my body down, my crotch goes down, my heel comes up, chest is down. So my body, my arms reach up, but my shoulders stay down, and I'm getting a lot of a workout. You can get it depending on where you're tight. You may be tight here, but you work. The work is in that you're relaxing into your pelvis. So that means the work isn't about stretching and pulling. Now, a lot of people, I think, go to yoga for stretching. I mean, if you just ask a random question, hey, why are you going to yoga? There may be a spiritual aspect, other things. I'm not going there. I'm just talking about everyday people. They just kind of like yoga, go, stretch. I want to stretch. I feel better when I leave. Okay, well, you can stretch, as I've shown in many videos, with meaning that you put your pelvis in the right position, you put your chest in the right position, you can sit on the floor, you can stretch, but you have a method of stretching that creates strength, flexibility, and balance. So I don't just randomly stretch. I have a meaning behind the stretching I do so that I'll be more centered and balanced. That might be a little confusing, but we'll move on to other things. We can come back to that. Okay. So I'm going to do what many people ask me about is downward dog. Downward dog I like to do with an elevated chair. And the reason I like to do that is because when people go down into downward dog, a tremendous amount of work and power has to go into the arms. Even if they pull their hips back, as they often do, and I was taught to do, you still have a tremendous amount of work going into your arms. Now, here's a little catch. This is called your collarbone, right here. Collarbone. If I have my arm like that, I'm going to run into that bone, okay? I don't care what you say. I don't care how far I get my shoulder blade down. These, they are not weight bearing. They are not designed to be weight bearing for a human. Unless I'm doing full arm balance, which is a handstand. Because why? My bones are stacked. Different. If I'm at an angle like this is called a shear force. I'm putting a shear force through my shoulder. You got to know a little physiology to understand why you don't want to put a shear force through your shoulder. Okay, so I go over the way I do it. I put my hands on the chair. And I'm not putting a lot of weight in my hands. I'm in butt up the wall. If you've ever seen me do this, I'm in butt up the air. I've got an arch in my back. It's great. It's wonderful. Now I pick my heels up. I pick my butt up a little higher. I have a straight spine. Let me show you what my spine looks like. It looks like, can you see that, John?
Mm-hmm.
I look like that. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I take my crotch back. Now, if I want to put my heels down and stretch my crotch back, that's great. I don't have too much weight in my arms. This is my dog. Is it a pretty dog? These dogs are prettier, but it doesn't mess up with my neck. Because here's the secret. Dogs don't have collarbones, and cats have little baby ones. So, when you see your dog do downward dog, it's just this beautiful area that they can just go right through, and they don't have to run into their collarbone. It's really cool. That's why they look so comfortable. You know, it looks right. It never looks right when I see a human do it, but they don't care. Humans love downward dog. They're going to do it for the rest of their life. I know, got it. And that's fine. If it works for you, I'm not here to interrupt you. I'm here to help people who hate downward dog and want it to work for them. Chair. Use a chair and emphasize your butt and your crotch going back and the ease of your arms. Ease. These ease. Not weight bearing, unless I'm doing a handstand. And then it just, you know it's right because the weight is going straight through. There's no shear forces. Okay? So there's two right there. Now, warrior one, warrior two. I think warrior one and warrior two, they're just difference in arms. You know, you can go up, you can go out. So you know I could be doing this, going like that, going forward, could be up, could be out. So those are the warrior ones. Now there is one against the wall that I could show you, but don't worry about that. Just do these two. Do downward dog, warrior one or warrior two, and get in your hips. And find out, wow, you know what? I can do that. I can go down, put that leg in front, keep the knee back towards the heel, and I could be in that and relax, and do that. Keep your heel up and just hang out there. Maybe you'll feel a long stretch in your hip flexors. But you're going to also come out of it, and guess what? When you come out of the yoga poses I teach you, you can take that posture and it rolls right into every posture of your life. Connection. Every movement I do somehow has to relate back to my reality. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes I don't roll around on the floor and play just like a kid. I do. But that's based in curiosity. I am just playing. But I also have a lot of body wisdom and I have a lot of body awareness. So I'm not doing random stuff that's going to hurt me. So if I help you use your yoga to become wiser, by the way, yoga means union, connection. So I want my mind and body to connect. Yeah, I don't want my head thinking about other stuff while I'm doing this. And I want my body to connect to my life. So I'm a life structure lady. I teach movements that connect you to your body, your life, and very pragmatic, practical. So that's just taking a couple of yoga postures and making them yours. And obviously there's some yoga postures that I just go, my mind just says, why? And I'll tell you a little story. I stopped doing yoga. I was a pretty big deal. You know, I was a yoga teacher and all that doodle. But when I started doing just life movements, started learning how to bend, sit, stand, using my life movements as my yoga postures, didn't need it. Didn't care about it. Didn't want it. And then I started doing other things, like belly dancing, other things that were movements a little more complex, but still connected me to my body. So I never had to really like disconnect from my outer world to my inner world. I swam, I ran, now I do Kung Fu. So there's plenty of things to do to build on this foundation. And you can always use yoga, but I just don't let yoga use you. You use yoga. You use swimming. You use whatever. You use weightlifting, but you always come back, and that weight should be lifted in a way that respects and honors the structure of your body. Don't worry about muscles. They always follow the bones. Relax the muscles. Follow the structure. Then it's a win-win deal. Okay, that's it. Whew, long-winded today. Okay, talk to me.
Stephanie in Tucson says, in my yoga, my instructor urges me to let go. How would structure fit into this style?
Well, let go is great. What a great teacher. I would just say you have to center your pelvis. Let go of your belly. There's your let go. Put your arms so that they're not reaching. You let go. Let your heel up. Let go of that so your pelvis stays in position. So there is obviously a marriage between your yoga teacher and this. You're letting go of the tension, but you're honoring that the movement needs to start with centering the pelvis, centering the spine, and not reaching and try to put a lot of tension through the arms and legs. They should be more relaxed. So good. I like that. Thanks for sharing that.
Next question comes from Wendy in Tucson. It sounds like I should be stiffer with the structured approach to yoga.
Stiffer structure. Okay. All right, let's see if I understand this. And if I don't, ask a question again. I do not manipulate and mold my body to a yoga posture, like if it's a triangle pose. And I'm not going to try to reach and see how far I can get. And that kind of looks moldy. That looks more stretchy. And mine looks a little bit more like placing the pelvis in a certain position, relax. Reaching up, relax. So maybe to you that's sort of like, what was the word?
Structure equals stiffer.
I don't think it's stiffer if you attempt to do what I showed you. If you'll look at this video later, if you look at it, it looks rudimentary a bit, but it should be much more freeing in that it should really ask for more relaxation. But it's not twisty and windy and that kind of stuff. So maybe that looks stiffer, like my hips in one place. So maybe that helps you. I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
Let's see here. Cindy in Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming says, I don't know what you mean, structurally sound.
Okay. Structurally sound means, well, let me just show you an example. Best to know what structurally is not sound. Okay? What's structurally not sound is if I have got my hip pushed out like this and I'm hanging out like this. Maybe you get your foot turned out. It's a very common posture. So I've got my weight forward in my hips. I've got most of my weight. I have no weight back here. My center is forward. My upper back is here. My neck. So I'm hanging what we used to call hanging out on ligaments right here. This is not structurally sound. I'm hanging out on more ligaments. I am not stacking my bones well, like your house. You really want a good foundation. Pulling my arms like this is not a good foundation. So if I brought my foot in for the moment, I shift my weight back into my butt, I'm structurally more sound under my leg bones. I relax my belly. This will seem weird to people, but I press up in my head and I relax my chest after I press up. I'm structurally more sound. I'm hanging out with my bones more balanced with gravity. That is structurally more sound. Than if I am hanging out like this, rolling my pelvis under, crossing, head forward, or sitting on my foot like a lot of people do, sit and pull over. I'm just showing you things I see a lot. This isn't structurally sound. Now, I don't like to call my stuff posture. It just sounds stiff to me. But there is an art form to posture. I mean, there's an art to this. I can sit here and talk to you and feel so comfortable by being structurally sound. My pelvis is not tucked. I'm sitting forward. My spine is sitting on. You just look at a 4 or 5-year-old, you will know what structurally sound is. Often you'll see football players, maybe running backs, wide receivers, walk. They look structurally sound. You can just tell that the bones are stacked pretty well because they're moving with really ease. Their neck is nice and long. They don't usually cover their, cross their arms and like that. So I hope that helps with what structurally sound is. Bone stacking more naturally doesn't mean it's stiff. It's relaxed. And what's not structurally sound. I hope that helps.
Alfie in Williams says, so you mean kids naturally move from their center always?
Yeah, until they don't. Until they've been sitting in class and in school and sitting a lot. Because in these other countries where kids don't have chairs usually to sit in, they squat. The whole family eats on the floor. They go to the bathroom in the ground. They go from town to town carrying stuff on their heads. They may have to bend over and work in the fields, which I'm not saying that I'm fond of, but they do know, they have a knowing because they live off the land. So those kids do like their parents do, and they live the way their parents lived, unless that's interrupted into a more modern society. Why don't we have the best of both worlds? Wouldn't that be great? To move well and to have the luxury of a modern society to give us the things we need and want with ease. It's great. You could have both. But one of them is going to come hard. You're going to have to work at. You have to work at moving better because you sit on your butt, you get in your car, you go to your desk. You don't move a lot. No matter even if you think you do, you don't. And if you don't move a lot, you don't have the movement intelligence. So young kids, usually around 4 or 5, they're bending over really well. They're walking really well. A lot of times they'll just stand and look at the TV, and they don't think about sitting down. Now, they may roll and play and structurally do fun things, but you can tell the difference between when they are just functioning and when they're playing. But when they do yoga, if you ask a kid to do yoga, they're not trying to get a pose, unless someone's taught them to do that. They're just being free. Children have a lot to teach us about our mind and body. That we are an inside-out creation. We have gotten so outside in, meaning if I can manipulate this, I'll be happy inside. If I can do my skin and do my hair and do my butt and do my body and do my workouts, and if I do this, I'll be good inside. It's just really not true. If you have a sense of well-being from the inside out, whether it's mental or physical, I do the physical, but they're connected, right? Then you will look better. You will look good. You'll be attracted to things that make you feel good from the inside out. That's how it works. Yeah.
Tommy in Temple, I guess Texas, says, you talk about dropping into a pose, and my yoga teacher stresses extending or reaching. I'm confused.
Yeah, they do. That's what I was saying earlier. They are extending and reaching and pulling and grasping from center, and I'm saying drop down into center and ease your arms out. Opposite. Opposite. So that's just, I'm basing mine and physiology of how the human body would move when it got out of a yoga pose. When you get out of a yoga pose, you're still in a yoga pose, whether you like it or not. It may be the walking yoga pose. It may be the bending yoga pose. Yoga means union. Hatha yoga today is a system or a methodology, or I don't know what it is, but it's something people are getting into for many, many different reasons. I'm about how to make you more comfortable in what you already have. So if I'm in a yoga pose, I drop in, I bend my knee, and here I am. I'm hanging out. I'm hanging out. You know, I'm hanging out. I'm hanging, oh yeah, that's warrior too, isn't it? I'm hanging out, shoulders are relaxed. I'm not pulling, creating tension. It's not the way I do it. I'm not saying you should do it the way I say. I'm saying that's what I do because I'm helping others feel comfortable in their body doing whatever they want to do. And I just picked yoga today. Next week we're going to talk about turning.
Ben in Seattle says, my yoga focuses on muscles. Can't structure be applied to muscles too, or just bones?
Structure governs function, which means your structure. If I move my arm, how I move my arm, the direction, that is how I decide how I'm functioning. Muscles follow bones. Bones don't, if you have your muscles being the leader of what you do, this is what you're going to be doing. You ready? Okay. If my muscles, and that's my main concept, are going to show me how to move, then I'm going to play a game with just setting up for tennis. Okay? Moving my pants again, excuse me. Okay, let's see. Flexor carpi radialis, flexor carpi extender, extended radialis, can't remember them all. Extender, biceps, a little bit of tricep, deltoid, serratus anterior, extensors in my back, multifidi, gluteus. Is that what you want to do? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to sit and think about your muscles when you do a tennis serve. You'll be there all day. Set up, pelvis, hips, in place, move feet, move hips, hand, grip, bones, take back, elbow, wrist, come through. You don't know it consciously, but you think about structure so much more naturally than you think about muscles. And the concept of thinking about muscles is very in vogue right now, hugely in vogue. And I've had to help people undo all this muscle tension because it's a backwards way of looking at physiology. If I help people think about structure, then relaxing muscles, the central nervous system, which runs your body, will tell the right muscles what to do. It's a beautiful symphony. And if you just play with it, give it a little chance to just think, for fun, be curious. I'm just going to think about my bones today. Why not? Relax your belly. You don't have to have a debate with anybody. You can just see if you like it or not. And if you don't like it, don't worry about it. Just play. That's what I would do.
Nancy in San Antonio asked the last question. So, should we call your approach to yoga bone yoga?
Y'all have such great ideas on live Facebook. Bone yoga. I love you for that. What was her name?
Nancy in San
Nancy.
Antonio.
Okay, so Nancy in San Antonio, I'm going to remember you because last time, Stevie from Tucson said, "Why are we doing strength training? Why aren't we doing structure training?" Is that not brilliant? So bone yoga, wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool? So let's just do bone yoga. What if you walked into yoga and said, "I'm going to try to do bone yoga"? Do your own thing. You know, just let your structure run things. Don't tense, don't pull. So I like bone yoga. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So
You're
hold on.
gone.
Did you just close me down?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, there we go.
I'm here. Anyway, we're almost done. Okay, bone yoga. Love it, Nancy. Thank you. Okay, because I'm from Texas anyway. I like that. I hope to see you next week. We're going to talk about turning, pelvis, turning. It's a big deal. How to rotate. Who does that? Golfers do it. We do it all the time. People's back go out a lot because they turn. And I'll explain that and show that to you, how it doesn't have to. It can be really a wonderful move. Please subscribe, share, and come back and go to my website, mccallmethod.com, if you have a question, and just email me. There you go. See you later, alligator.